So we're getting started with our forum. Our first part is for the Santa Maria Union High School district candidates. I'm Lisa Thornhill. I'm with the League of Women Voters, North Santa Barbara County, and I am currently second vice president, which involves program planning. This is our first time at this venue since the pandemic, so it feels good to be back and have our community participating with the candidates and what we have to look forward to. So to start, the League of Women Voters are a nonpartisan organization. The National League of Women Voters was formed over 100 years ago, and we have been a part of the Santa Maria Valley for over 50 years. While we are extremely proud of that heritage, we are also progressive in our approach to nonpartisan voter education and advocacy work. Our top priority is to register voters and help educate the community to assist with informed voting. League of Women Voters welcomes all genders and ethnicities as members, and we have also removed barriers to non-citizens to become League of Women Voter members, as well as students who are at least 16 years of age. The nonpartisan nature of League work is critical to the mission and means that as an organization, we do not support any candidates or support any political parties. And as we start, I want to thank our co-sponsor. It is the AAUW of Santa Maria. They have stepped up and helped set up our forum, and they have agreed to help out with questions and some of the other parts of the forum. We also want to thank our forum sponsors, the Fund for Santa Barbara, Santa Maria Times, NAACP, and Future Leaders of America. Tonight's interpreter is Jose Farias, who is in the back. If anybody needs interpreting assistance, he is the one to go to. And as we speak, we are asking everyone to speak slowly so that the interpretation can be clear. We also have Future Leaders of America who are providing a streaming platform per Facebook. It is live, and it will be available for a few days afterwards. We're also fortunate to have our timers from Future Leaders. We have Dana and Leslie, who will be helping with the timing process. And I want to also thank the candidates for stepping up to participate in a public office and for sharing your time with us this evening. And we thank the audience for coming in order to make our ability to interview candidates one that is informed. We do have some rules around the format tonight. I want to start with a land acknowledgement. The League of Women Voters of the North Santa Barbara County humbly acknowledge that we are speaking to you within the traditional homelands of the Chumash tribe. We recognize and are grateful for the First Nations who set an example of how to live in harmony with the natural world. We are asking the audience to hold any applause until the very end of this forum. After this forum, we will go on to the forum for Bonita School District. Candidates are not to speak of or to each other, but will address their answers to the audience. There will be no unauthorized videotaping, and tomorrow you will be able again to access the Future Leaders YouTube channel. There is to be no editing of any of the videos. And I do also want to put in a little information that also at this time there is a workshop for all school board candidates and incumbents for Santa Barbara County. This is something that is being recorded, so in a couple of days the candidates and incumbents can access it at sbceo.org. And one other piece of housekeeping, our league does have our pro and cons and our easy voters available in the lobby. This is some great information about the measures that are coming up on our ballot. So feel free to take one. We have both English and Spanish available. And now we get to start off with introduction to our candidates. We first have Alma Hernandez, and we have Gabriel Moralez. The format will be that we have 2 questions that were sent out earlier, and these are the questions we start with. Each question will be provided time, and the candidates will answer the questions in order by alphabetically determined, and then we rotate with the next question. After these first 2 questions, we take a 15-minute break to gather all the questions from the audience. So please write a question on the cards that were provided, and they will be picked up and sorted at break. And at that time, during the break, folks we have restrooms right outside this door and to the right. No food or drink in this part of the building. And we ask you to turn off electronic devices so that we are uninterrupted during the question period. Then at the end, we will have a 2-minute closing statement, and that time can be used to clarify a previous point or to bring up something new or summarize key strengths. So we are going to start with the questions, and we will start with Alma Hernandez. And the first questions, you will have 3 minutes to answer the first question. And the first question is to please introduce yourself to the audience. Describe what education and experience you have had that will aid you in being an effective school board member of the Santa Maria High School District. And please talk about what motivated you to run for office. So we'll start with Ms. Hernandez. Thank you.
Well, thank you, League of Women Voters and FLA, for the opportunity to be here today.
Is the mic on?
Sorry about that. I'm Alma Hernandez, your current representative on the Santa Maria Joint Union High School Board. I've proudly lived in Santa Maria in the Trustee area I serve for the past 25 years, and I'm deeply passionate about ensuring that every student has the opportunity to succeed. As a child of Mexican immigrants, I face the same struggles many of our Santa Maria students endure today: economic hardship, cultural and language barriers, limited parent support, stereotypes, displacement, and an undiagnosed learning disability. These experiences shaped who I am and fueled my passion to create pathways for others facing similar obstacles. I dreamed that if I could attend college, I would work to make a difference for those who felt marginalized as I did. I'm a proud product of public schools and a graduate of Cal Poly San Luis Obispo and Cal State Northridge, where I earned a bachelor's in human development with a concentration in early childhood education and a master's in public administration. Throughout my career as a family advocate, nonprofit director, representative for the county supervisor, and the transformative journey of motherhood of 2 recent graduates from the Santa Maria high schools, I've developed a unique skill set focused on building trusting relationships with parents, students, and educators. This relationship allows me to bridge their voices and share the needs of our students and families, ensuring that they are true partners in education. I am motivated to run for the board to create opportunities and enhance the educational experience for all our children, and as my own, by bringing this valuable skill set to the table. My platform is simple but powerful. Number 1, prioritize mental wellness. 2, foster authentic engagement. And 3, promote a college and career-going culture for every student. We've already made tremendous strides in our district, like the new math requirement, state-of-the-art learning spaces, wellness centers, and the adoption of ethnic studies. But there's more work to be done. Only 36% of our students are meeting A through G requirements. Only 38% of students met or exceeded the state standards in English, and just 15% did so in math. These numbers reflect a systemic issue that impacts not only our academic outcomes, but also the future opportunities for many of our students. We need to keep pushing forward. I understand the issues our community students are facing and can relate to the concerns our parents and educators have. In my campaign, I've been fortunate to enjoy the endorsements of leaders such as Congressman Carvajal, Senator Limon, Assemblyman Hart, County Supervisor Hartman, Capson Williams, Guadalupe Mayor Julian, Councilwoman Soto, and Hernandez, as well as Hancock Trustee Zacarias. Today, I'm asking for your support, not just for me, but for the future of our students and our community. I want the best education for our kids. We are at a pivotal moment where we no longer have to accept the status quo, but can genuinely build a more stronger, inclusive community where every student has the opportunity to live their dream.
Thank you. And now we will have Mr. Moralez.
Button. Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to speak here tonight as a candidate for the Santa Maria High School District Board. My experience in education is 10 years as an educator for Santa Maria High School District. I work directly with the parents. In fact, I have some former students that are here today that I served. One of the most important things that I believe I did was being trained by some of the best educators in this district. That was something that was very important to me. So that education brought a lot of value to what I did for the students and can still offer today for this school board. Also, my background deals 4 years with the State Department of Education. I had the opportunity to serve up and down the state of California, some of the biggest high schools in our area, in California. I spent time as a teacher trainer. Also, I worked directly with the teachers and the students themselves, sharing my experience. One of my most valuable experiences as an educator and somebody that's sensitive to the needs of this community, where close to 80% of the student population is Latino, is that I grew up in a family of 13 with a lot of hardships, but it was my mom that focused on education. No matter what we went through, whether it was with lack of food, whether crime that we were involved in, we still focus on getting our homework done. So it's always possible with the challenges that we currently have in our district. It's very important that we give everybody an opportunity and provide that hope. The reason I'm running is currently because as a community member, our current board and administration is important in making the crucial decisions, which currently right now are limited from our teachers and from our students and parents. The school district is not run just by the administrators and the school board. It's run by our parents, our civic leaders that vote, and it's important that our board is open and transparent to bring back the community. Some of the board members board meetings I've attended, there's been a lot of concern about communication and trust, and I hope to bring that back. So part of my motivation is to be open to the community and transparent. Also, it's going to be important that we know that we cannot settle for the schools that our students have now. We need to settle for the schools that our students need. And we need to do that with sensitivity to the culture, along with what's innovative and creative. Thank you.
Thank you. And we will move into the second question. The second question, you will have 2 minutes to answer. It is, what is the top challenge facing Santa Maria high schools? And what is your proposed solution to the top challenge? And we will start with Mr. Moralez.
Thank you. Currently, the top challenges that I see facing the high school district in our community is the lack of joint leadership in crucial decision making, and the impacts in the classroom that's having and with the teachers and the students. The lack of equity and communication is important also between the board, administrative staff, and teachers. Solution: joint leadership and open and trusting communication that is purposeful and that is ongoing. Also, incoming freshmen that are reading at a 5th grade level. This cannot be. When you look at economic development, our workforce, it's crucial for any businesses that are coming into Santa Maria, that they know that our schools are providing students that are graduating at a decent level of education, especially reading levels. Solution: an enriching style of a summer school and literacy programs that bring back the joy of learning. I had the opportunity to be a part of a summer jump program that we brought back that joy to the students and to the parents. It's something that you always want to incorporate when you're working with the students, the respect for the parents, and to work with them sometimes it's going to be late hours. Speaking to the heart of and the soul of our students with passion is important for our teachers when you're in the classroom, with respect, and with that passion you're going to get the attention of those students. When you speak to their heart and you know that they know that you care about them. That's probably the most successful thing I had when I was working in the school, was that the students knew that I cared, and I made sure the staff in the classrooms I was working at also had that same passion and care and respect for the students and their parents. Thank you.
Thank you. And Ms. Hernandez?
As a current board member, I've seen both progress and challenges in our district. Since COVID, our high schools have been grappling with 3 key challenges that are interconnected and must be addressed together for the well-being of our students. Oops, sorry about that. Can I start the time again?
Go ahead and start again.
Okay. As the current board member, I've seen both progress and challenges in our district. Since COVID, our high schools have been grappling with 3 key challenges that are interconnected and must be addressed for the well-being of our students and staff. Number 1, student learning and well-being. This pandemic has increased mental health challenges, making it difficult for many students to focus on academics. While we've made progress with wellness centers and mental health services, more needs to be done. A solution can be holistic approaches like healing-centered engagement, which focuses on repair and resilience through culturally rooted practices. Promotoras can help parents better understand teen brain development, recognize early signs of struggles, and intervene before issues escalate. Also, working in partnership with our CBOs, we can create a supportive environment where students and parents, so students are ready to learn. 2, safety of schools and staff. Bullying, violence, and drug activity, especially on platforms like Snapchat and Instagram, has made safety a growing concern for me as a parent and many other parents. Physical and emotional safety is essential for learning and my number 1 priority. We need to engage students, teachers, and parents in finding solutions. In addition, coming from a county lens, I recognize a majority of services are offered at our county, and it will benefit our students to work together in a community schools model with our county, city, and local community-based organizations to host community forums that will open communication and help stay updated on new issues, implementing strategies like staff badges, responsible digital safety monitoring, along with reducing class sizes, all that contribute to a safer school environment. Number 3, equitable access to quality educational program. The achievement gap remains a significant issue, especially for our English learners, low-income students, and students with disabilities. So we are working to create a seamless college and career pathway aligned with our feeder district starting in junior high. Expanding A through G courses, access, and providing professional development for teachers are also key steps for closing this gap. Reducing class size, oops, am I done? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And at this time, we're going to ask everybody, if you've written a question, go ahead and hold the card up and they will be collected. Please take a break if you need to use the restroom and stretch, and we will be back in 15 minutes for the next round of questions. Thank you. Okay, thank you, everybody. And we were able to get some fantastic questions. And before we start, I'm going to have the timers put another minute on the timer. Alma did not get the full time because she had to restart because of the mic. So if we could do that and go ahead and have Alma finish her introduction. Thank you.
Should I go ahead and get started? Okay. All right. So we need to engage students, teachers, and parents in finding solutions. In addition, coming from a county lens, I recognize a majority of services are offered at the county, and it will benefit our schools to work together in a community schools model with our county, city, and local community-based organizations to host community forums that will open communication and help stay updated on the new issues. Implementing strategies like staff badges and responsible digital safety monitoring, along with reducing class sizes, all contribute to a safer school environment. Equitable access to quality education. The achievement gap remains a significant issue, especially for English learners, low-income students, and students with disabilities. We are working to create a seamless college and career pathway aligned with our feeder districts, starting in junior high, expanding A through G course access, and providing professional development for teachers are also key steps to closing this gap. Reducing class size will allow for more personalized instruction, encouraging bilingualism and cross-cultural understanding can support English learners and enrich the entire school community, fostering inclusivity. Thank you.
Thank you. And with our first question, we will start with Ms. Hernandez. And this question is, what is your plan to ensure that our district retain teachers who have the same background as our students?
This is a value that's really important to me. As you know, it's really important to have teachers in our community. One of the things that I mentioned is not feeling connected to school when I was growing up, and I know that a lot of students feel that way here. When I talk to students, they feel like a sense of disconnect in regards to being understood, having their culture understood, and then of course the demands of maybe not family separation, not having their parents around, not having a support system is detrimental for our kids. And so it's important that we have instructors in our schools that reflect that understanding, that possibly came to the schools and also lived in this area and have similar experience as our students. And so my plan to do that, we're doing that already within the school district. We're looking on development, teacher development, to make sure that there is courses available to have inclusion in our classrooms, as well as an understanding of diversity, the backgrounds of our students. Our superintendent had the opportunity to visit Oaxaca this year to get to speak with community leaders, and also to bring that back to that education back to our schools. And so there's a lot of education going around. We're making sure that we're creating a pipeline for local students to be able to attend our schools. Be teachers in our schools and stay in the area and go to college and so forth. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Moralez?
Yes. One thing that comes to mind is I don't recall when I've attended a career exploration day at the high schools, there was an apprenticeship program for teachers. I think that's important that we establish one. seeing some of the trades that they do have apprenticeship. I think it's important that, I was just talking about this today, that we encourage our students to get involved in education, whether it's a career or higher education, that we're present with them, that we have a relationship. And it starts in the classrooms, right? Why would a student want to become a teacher? You know, why did my son become a police officer? Somebody befriended him at an early age. It made an impression on him. So that impression is key. Also, part of my understanding is when I worked at the high school, we talked about that because we weren't seeing enough teachers that were sensitive or had the same background. But one of the things I've learned from missionaries, when they go to another country, they are not from that country or from that community, but they care about the people. So it's just a matter of teachers caring, and like I was talking to some students in the back right now, like one of the key factors working with employers is that you get along with people, that you care about people, that you have your heart open to them, that you know their soul and you know what their needs are. So it's good that we work in developing teachers that are from our community, do it with apprenticeship, but we want teachers that care, teachers that know how to teach. You know, when I go to the dentist, I don't care what their background is. I want to make sure that they're certified, they can take care of my toothache, and I walk out of there happy. Thank you.
Thank you. This next question, we will start with Mr. Moralez. How are you planning to address mental health issues? At school, resources surrounding mental health are never reached to us. Knowing what steps you are planning to take is valuable to the community. How do you plan to support student leaders? And that was along the lines of mental health resources and mental health issues.
Yes, crucial question and obviously answer. Currently, I work as administrator for California Mentor, and our services deal with adults and youth with intellectual disabilities. So it's crucial, and it's an unserved population. A lot of times we're working, or we have families that do not know how to reach out to services. So one of the solutions I see is working with a lot of our agencies that are currently doing the work, that have experts in the field, that are triculturally, are bicultural, trilingual, and that know how to serve and are willing to serve, and that's their job. And also could lend their expertise to the district and for the programs that we currently have to enhance them. So take advantage of what's already out there and develop, going out of the box, getting out of what we already have is great, but it's also the community has a lot of resources that are available to bring into our community, into our school district. Thank you.
Thank you. And Alma, do you want me to read the question again? Okay.
Thank you. I 100% agree. As I mentioned, my kids just exited Santa Maria schools. They just recently graduated, and after the pandemic, this became a really big issue, in our schools in regards to our students. So it's important. We've been doing a lot of good work. We have mental wellness centers at every school, and we've been increasing the counselors at our school. But obviously, there's still a lot of work to be done. And I want to partner with our county, our city, and our local community-based organizations, our promotoras, like I mentioned earlier, in a community schools model to better understand teen brain development, the signs of mental health struggles, and how we can intervene and give access to services early on to protect our students. And we also need, I believe, more teacher training. There's been a lot of teacher training. We need continue that because the issues continue to change. Things like Snapchat and Instagram are a whole new level of issues that face our schools. And, sometimes they're invisible ghosts. I know my daughter had some bullying on Instagram, and, you go in there and you see, names that you are made up names to sites, so you can't find who the culprit is. There's no way to find out. So we need continue training and learning in those areas to be able to combat those issues. In addition, I think it's important to include our youth in that training. Family Service Agency offers a great training for youth to be able to understand mental health issues, to better be able to help their peers and understand when they're doing things that might be challenge for somebody else that they might not be aware of. And so I think those are some strategies that we can look to doing. Thank you.
Thank you. This next question, we will start with Ms. Hernandez. It is, what role, if any, should the school board play in screening library books?
Well, it's really important to me to recognize that the issue of banning books is not a local issue. It's an issue that's already been established at the state level, and so I don't think it's a good idea to move into areas that cause quarreling or agitation and bring them to this level. To me, it's important to have a board that is able to process our work, to create policy at the local level and the issues that are important to our local community. So, I think it's important to not delve into issues that are not our decision making. Thank you.
Mr. Moralez, would you like the question read again?
No. We should leave that to the teachers and to the parents. I think we were just talking about this today, that students and parents and teachers know what's best for their kids. I mean, we're struggling with our students learning, and when I spoke about earlier about students are coming into the high school at 5th grade reading level, bring in literature that's of interest to them and that's going to help them get back engaged in their education. Not dealing with anything that's political or not going to serve them in the classroom. Thank you.
Thank you. And this question, we will start with Mr. Moralez. What is your commitment to migrant community if you win the vote?
Well, how many years ago? I started in Santa Maria working bringing in migrant workers into the classroom. So I worked with programs that were funded to work with farm workers. So the commitment is there. I know it's important. It's it's our biggest economic support here in Santa Barbara County, and Santa Maria is more so. So it's important to serve them and to make sure that the education starts in the fields. I remember working with farmers that were asking, how can we better train our workers that we want to keep? And so we were developing programs for them at the time. So I don't know if that's still going on. If not, I'd like to bring that in as a part of the solution, to work with the growers as well as the migrant workers and the farm workers themselves.
Thank you. And Ms. Hernandez?
As educators, I think it's essential that we are aware and mindful of the unique challenges that our migrant communities bring. And it's important to, that we're intentional in addressing their needs, that, so that we're not ineffective in how we support their learning journey. We need to make sure that we're giving the students, all students, including migrant students, that they have the tools that they need to succeed academically and personally. We need to make sure that we're providing tailored support, that we understand the culture, that we're working together with the community leaders of the migrant communities to have a greater understanding not only of the culture, but also, building communication with the parents, so that we are able to develop a good relationship and partnership with the parents. And whether it's through language programs, bilingual resources, one-on-one assistance, and to make sure that they're thriving. And we need to make sure that our teachers have the training and that resources that they need to meet their needs. And, I think that there needs to be a strong understanding that, when we talk about our migrant communities, that we really understand the strengths that they bring to our community, in addition to, obviously that the labor that they bring, they bring cultural traditions and values that it's important that we really understand to be able to integrate into our community, to create a sense of acceptance and a sense of being seen and valued for who they are and what they bring. And I think that really will enrich our community as a whole. And with that lens, I think that our community can only thrive. Thank you.
Thank you. And this next question, our interpreter, Jose, graciously helped us translate some of these. So we have a clear picture for everybody. And this question will start with Ms. Hernandez. What changes would you make if you stay in your position?
Okay. Well, I've been here for about a year now, and I will definitely agree that there needs to be there's a lot of room for communication. I mentioned in the beginning of my introduction that I feel like that's the skill set that I really could bring to the school board in regards to having established, 30 years of connection with families, building trust and communication. And I feel that the district is doing a lot of really good work. Obviously there's still work to be done, but that the communication is something that we need to work on. I'm really excited to see that we've really established the councils within the schools with the teachers, and so that just got started recently. And I would love to see more communication with the teachers, a cafecito, at the school sites, to be able to have ongoing communication of the challenges and the support that teachers still need. And as I mentioned, with our schools, just communication with our parents, and I'm also excited that we recently created a connection with Tu Tiempo Digital, which is Spanish media, which we didn't have before, which is incredibly important. So our English language learning community or Spanish-speaking community can also participate in our education system. Thank you.
Mr. Moralez, same question. Oh, excuse me. No, it won't be.
No.
We will move on to a different question, but we will start with you. As a high school senior, the A through G curriculum is barely manageable as it is right now. How would adding more going to be helpful for the future students to succeed?
Yes, I believe that adding more is not a good idea. I think the students have their plate full with what they're dealing with. Some of the challenges are going on. It's not only just academically, it's just socially, and it's going on within our society right now, and our communities are being challenged. And I think that we need to look at our curriculum, we need to look at our grading system and find a way to make sure that our students, what isn't working, and make those corrections. But there are things happening in our other school districts throughout the state, if not within our own county, and we need to learn from them. What are some of the good, innovative things that are happening that are being successful, to look at something. My background in construction, if something didn't work, you didn't spend all day working on that. You had deadlines to meet. And our students, they have 4 years at that high school. We want to make it enjoyable and want to find the best way for them to learn. And that's each student. That's a big challenge for the number of students that we have. But that includes working with parents, understanding, we're talking about the migrant families. Some of the programs and meetings are going to be, late after school, but to address them where they're at, to meet them at their homes. One of the things I found out was that there's not a lot of home visitations, and that's something that I would like to bring back. Home visitations, and also working with the elementary school districts is bringing that into it, so they're better prepared when they come to the high school. Not only for college, but we want to prepare our kids for the high school that here is locally, successfully. Thank you.
And Ms. Hernandez, do you want me to reread the question?
Would you mind, please?
As a high school senior, the A through G curriculum is barely manageable as it is right now. How would adding more help future students to succeed?
Well, this is something that I think is really important to me. I feel that it's not important just to raise the bar, because raising the bar is incredibly important because we want our students to be successful, to have a career path or a college path, whatever they choose. But we don't want to have less. We want to be able to build a support system for the students to be able to accomplish those tasks. And so what we've been working on is making sure that our teachers are prepared, that we have new math requirements, that they start early, and so we're not just adding more, we're creating a pathway for more. So we're working together with our feeder districts so that students can start their A through G career path, college and career path at 7th grade in junior highs, to make sure that they're getting ready, their mindsets are ready, the parents are ready, that we understand the challenges, we have enough counselor support so that they can share what their challenges are, and that we're able to really address those needs, whether they be financial, whether they be classes that they're not able to get into. Students have mentioned that they haven't been able to get into some classes, and so we have to have the support system ready. So adding more isn't just about adding more, it's about creating a whole network of support for our students so that they can all be successful, and that's our goal.
Thank you. And we're down to the second to the last question before closing remarks. Ms. Hernandez, this question says, your views of having security, what are your views of having security assigned to campus due to fighting, arguments, and safety issues?
I'm very grateful for the security that we offer on campus, but I also know that it's not enough. And we have to have other measures that are in addition to, campus security officers on campus to be able to protect our kids. We need to make sure that we're addressing their mental health challenges. We need to make sure that parents understand what the signals of distress are from early on to be able to get them access to resources. In Lompoc, we had the opportunity, through working with the county supervisor, we had the opportunity to work with Moms Demand Action, where we were able to educate parents on gun safety, pass out gun safety locks. A lot of shootings happen by a gun that is in their own home. So by passing out locks, we're eliminating that access to guns. So there's a lot of different measures that could be added in addition to safety officers. And though I appreciate our safety officers, I think that there's a lot more that we can do to really enhance the educational opportunity for our students and the resource that they need to be successful. Thank you.
Thank you. And now, Mr. Moralez.
Yeah, important question, important part of our community. And if our schools aren't safe, why would parents want to take our students to our schools or leave them there, right? And how do you think the students are feeling, spending up to 40 hours there at school and not being unsafe? And my understanding, there was an incident this past week, not the week before, where a security guard was attacked. So my experience has always been, and there's some of the committee members here today, that we're students and have excellent communication skills with younger students, or not with some of the younger people in our community. So one is, I've always, when I worked at the school district and we had similar issues, not as bad, but we got coaches involved, on campus. And also, where are the fathers? Father mentors. Other districts are doing this in California, where they're bringing in, role models just to walk walk the campuses, to meet with the kids, have lunch with them. I wrote a grant one year where we brought community members and took out a lot of our kids that were struggling to dinner and took them to a show just to take them to something new, but to show that kids care, but we also need parents and adult community members that care. Again, having an open door policy for our community is very critical. All these issues that we're talking about, they're solvable. I spent time volunteering at the prisons and juvenile hall and worked with some of the worst criminals in our state, and they all want to change. They just need to have somebody that cares about them and wants to give them a direction and show them how to do it. And our kids are kids. They're wet cement. They're ready to be pliable. And I know we can get volunteers to help the situation. So it's a solvable issue, and it's something that needs to take place now. We don't need somebody else to be injured or hurt or having kids or parents being concerned about threats on campus. Thank you.
Okay, last question. Santa Barbara Unified School District has and is building housing for its classified and looks like certificate employees on school district property. What innovative ideas do you have to create a supply of housing for district employees? Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know one of our private schools provides housing for their teachers. So it's a big plus. That's something that we should look at. It is innovative. But working with our planning departments at the county level and the city level is important. Anything that's going to bring added solution to the situation with getting teachers. And it's already difficult enough for teachers, and the amount of teachers that we're losing throughout, through the year nationwide is a critical concern. So what can we do as a community to enhance teachers that come to our district? And one is making our schools safe. Two is providing housing. So that's an excellent way of doing that. But it's working with our county and our city planning commissions, as well as making sure our voters know about that. Thank you.
I 100% agree that housing is a really critical issue in this area, and it's important to make sure that we're able to, if we want to bring people from the community to become teachers in this area, we want to recruit, we want to make sure that they have somewhere to live. And some ideas that could be, one, working with the county in regards to providing loans, low interest loans to purchase a home. We can also look at, when we look to build a new school, which is really important, that we, as we, if we can pass the Measure J new school bond, we can look at offering space for housing and having a partnership with a developer to be able to also create access for housing there as well. And so, I think it's important to possibly even purchase land or so forth, and to be able to consider housing for our educators. So those are some ideas that I have to increase housing for our educators. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes the questions that our audience has presented. And so at this time, we will have a 2-minute closing by each candidate to tell us what your thoughts are about running and anything you want to remark upon that maybe has been or hasn't been talked about yet. And we will start with Ms. Hernandez.
Okay, what I want everyone to remember is that my candidacy is not just about me. It's about all of us working together to better the lives of every student in the Santa Maria Joint Union High School. My commitment is to ensure that we are creating opportunities for every single student, regardless of their background, and that we are doing so by lifting everyone up. When we raise the bar for all, every student is challenged to reach higher and achieve more. And when that happens, our entire community grows stronger. Our basic education is important, but we must also address the whole student holistically, emotionally, physically, and mentally. Issues like food security, mental health, and overall wellness must be prioritized so that the student can feel nurtured, focused on learning and thrive. Simply put, if we don't address these basic needs, we can't expect our students to succeed in the classroom. Throughout my career, I've dedicated myself to listening to the voices of our community. The leaders of the Mixteco and immigrant communities, the community-based organizations, they know they can come to me and I can serve as a sounding board for the superintendent to help create policies and procedures that reflect the needs of all our students. If no one is advocating for these voices, we risk overlooking the needs of entire communities. That's why I'm fighting to create more avenues for parents to play a role to ensure their children are truly ready to learn. We need true partnerships where families feel empowered to support their children's learning journey. I am committed to being that bridge of communication for our community, someone who listens and creates understanding for all the voices that make up our schools. We have not had a leader within our board with that skill set, and it's long overdue. I'm incredibly proud to have the support of grassroots organizations like Cause Action Fund, unions like Western States Carpenters, Central Coast Labor Council. These endorsements reflect our shared belief in the importance of equity and opportunity, engagement, and empowerment for all students. When we lift each other up, when we address the whole student, engage families, promote well-rounded success, our entire community moves forward. Thank you for your time, your support, and for believing in this vision. I am honored to stand alongside you, and I look forward to what we can achieve together. Thank you.
Thank you. And now, Mr. Moralez.
Yes, I'm going to stand. One is I want to thank everybody that's here. I want to thank the superintendent that came out to listen to us. Appreciate that. I'll speak to you this week, I believe. But also to all the community members, and I hope to see some of you up here on this end. It's crucial that we get people running for office. The last thing I'd like to share is that it's can you probably hear me anyway, right? You got a lot of voice. So anyway,
We need it. Please turn it on and have her turn hers off. Okay, go ahead.
got it? Okay. I'll sit down. Maybe it's too much for the speaker. Okay, 1, 2. Got it. All right. So one of the things in my experience in education is that a lot of times we're not looking at the lens of our students or parents. And one of the things that taught me that was so important is the first time I decided, as nervous as I was, to take my students that were in alternative ed over to the high school board. And when I told them that I was taking them over there and the parents, they said, "Why are you doing that, Gabe?" And I said, "What do you mean?" She goes, "Yeah, well, you're here in this program because you're a throwaway just like me." So there's a lot of kids, students that don't believe they're wanted or cared for whatever reason. And so it's so important as adults, and especially as educators, that we make them welcome. It's not only to teach them the academics, but to show that you care. Just put a loving hand on them, look them in the eyes, tell them that you do care, whatever. Ask about how their day went. That was one of the most important things we did when the students came into our class in the morning. How did it go, Ruben? How did it go, Saul? How was your day? And if it didn't go well, are we going to still teach them academics? No, because more than likely there are a couple of things that was happening. They're hungry, something happened, they were going through trauma. So it's our responsibility as professionals to address that need that's happening now. The academics will come, they will come. But when I did take them over to the school board, and they told me that they saw me as a throwaway, after the students spoke and the boards and the audience that day gave them a standing ovation, they looked at me and said, "Boy, they do respect you, but also they respect us as students." That was life-changing for a lot of them. And that's what we should carry on to make it an open door policy, and always remember the heart of the students and not to know to know about what's going on in their heart. So thank you, appreciate all of you here tonight, and thank you for this opportunity to serve you. And thank you, Alma.
Okay, right now, folks can stretch. Our other candidates will get you set up in the front, and we will resume at 6:45. Thank you.
Good.